gonna go somewhere with Granddad tomorrow. Then maybe Wednesday, me and you go up Grandma and Granddad's house for a little bit during the day. Okay? You gonna help me up there? Wednesday?
At what time?
I don't know.
At 8.
During the day. What happens at 8? Would you got something planned at 8? You got a hot date at 8?
No.
Oh,
Chris,
okay.
the Christmas comes on Disney.
Okay, well, we'll be able to watch it.
Comes on 8 p.m. I'll just go
Uh,
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tune the fuck in. Welcome, 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 welcome. We got a big show for y'all today. We got a big show today. We got a lot to catch up on. We had a really smooth playoff run. Honestly, it was one of the fastest playoff runs we had. Not for nothing. Like all the games were played that day. Like we didn't have no day, no playoff games go over a day. Like every game was played within a 24-hour span. Which was awesome, unbelievable. Appreciate the activity of everybody. If you are paying attention and you are in the league, you've been paying attention to uh, what's coming up right now. So those guys that are all on vacation right now, with myself included, your off season has started already. Whether it started, when the playoffs started, or you were in the playoffs and had an exit, whether it was an early or late exit, you are in playoff. I mean, postseason mode. Not to play games, you're in postseason mode to get to the new season 4. So you got to get all the work and shit you need done, man. Like I advise y'all to get the stuff done y'all need while we waiting on the Super Bowl to be played. Just for nothing, not for nothing. We will be drafting tomorrow. The whole entire offseason will start probably around 7:30, and then we'll go from there. So you got up until 7:30 till we advance till re-signing stage. You have all that time to get your shit done. All right, so we had a smooth 2025 season, man. We got a really good playoffs too, really good playoff run, really good end of the season run for guys. I'll be able to catch up today on some of the things that we put out there, like gifts and stuff like that. Guys that beat playoff teams, things like that. We will catch up. Please don't blow my DM up for nothing. Like I'll catch up to shit. Don't hit me for any of it. You send that shit to Max or you send it to Snake. If you hit me, I'm ignoring this shit. Do not directly hit me or call me for anything you need. You go through Snake or Max to get to me. That's the only way it's going down. I will not answer your DMs directly if it has anything to do with something you need done in the league. Only thing that I'll directly pay attention to is packages. Don't send me no trades. Don't think, let me go to him directly. None of that. Don't send a trade to me. I will ignore it. Go through the proper channels to get your situations done. Simple as that. All right. All right. With that being said, man, we start right away with the Pro Bowl lineup, 2025 Pro Bowl selection show. We know what our QB1s are looking like. Just because these guys are QB1s doesn't mean that they should be QB1s, right? You got 2 Super Bowl teams that'll be representing the AFC and the NFC in the Super Bowl, and those quarterbacks were Pro Bowl quarterbacks as well. One winning the MVP of the league for the 3rd time. But they'll be playing in a bowl, so they have no time for a Pro Bowl. Now, with that being said, Justin Herbert, NFC quarterback 1 for the Rams. He had an outstanding year this year, man. He went fucking dummies this year. Really, really, really turned it on. Like, see what happens is when you trade for a guy, first season with him, you're learning things. They learning the system, the playbook, learning all those things. But then he comes back for a second season with the Rams, and you could tell he had the playbook under wraps. He understood what was going on. He understood his offensive coordinator and the things that they were trying to do offensively. And he went out there and went berserk. He was really in the MVP conversation all season. And you mix that with a great coach, You mix that with they don't have a flashy offense. What they have is they have guys that do their goddamn job, and their quarterback is their superstar. And that's the things you need to do. Like you saw, two teams in that division go get quarterbacks to better change their fate or how their seasons or how their team is going to go going forward. And Justin Herbert is
Yeah.
one of those teams that knew that they needed to go get an elite quarterback to really do what they want to do. Going forward, and they got their franchise guy.
Herbert benefited from just moving right across the street, not really having to uproot his family and stuff, staying in the same vicinity.
Right. And how big is that though for as
and
when
the
you're getting
other
traded?
quarterback and the other quarterback benefiting from, I think, the team and the youth of the team around them. Uh, we'll talk about them both going forward, but that's big for Herbert, man. Just sheesh,
Like you
just
make a trade like that, and then you don't really got to go anywhere, right? You don't even got to
man,
change stadiums or nothing.
no
Like you
house or
just,
nothing.
yeah, like so your lifestyle don't change. It's comfortable. You can get right
Yeah,
into
it's
the
just the
get to.
family, right?
Yes,
Right,
sir.
all football.
Your wife happy, she ain't mad. That old head wife you got, she ain't mad because she ain't got to uproot and go anywhere. She in California, that's where they want to be at. So that's what's up.
Your side Joan ain't mad, so you ain't getting called out like Zion.
Right. You ain't messing with these little Instagram thoughts, all that shit going down. But Justin threw for
hmm
7,527 yards this year. He threw 69 touchdowns. He was almost 70%, 69 completion percentage, 30 INTs. He was sacked 39 times. He averaged 129.9 rating QBR, so 130 and 12.6 yards to play. He was outstanding this year, man. Outside of the numbers of Marino, Purdy, Lawrence, they all went crazy this year in the way they threw the football. But, Herbert was that close to being a guy that can actually win the MVP. And not for nothing, Herbert also contributed in a situation where you wouldn't even have thought he would have contributed that. And he was big for them in the run game as well, scoring 10 rushing touchdowns in this season, 336 yards rushing, 7 yards to carry, 10 touchdowns. So they added his legs in the mix too as well. So going into his sixth season, man, 6'6", 236 pounds. He's an accurate quarterback, and he's within a system that I think he really enjoys. Like when your quarterback is comfortable, good things is possible, always going to happen. You don't have to have a million big names around that quarterback that make him a dog. Like, again, this coaching staff reminds me of the Belichick coaching era of when he had Tom Brady and just the way they play. They just don't have big names everywhere. They do got superstars here and there. Guys become superstars on that team, but they playing with a bunch of put your hard hat on to go to work players that play as a team. And that's what makes, them dangerous. And Justin Herbert is that guy over there. He's the superstar. He's the one that's selling all the jerseys in LA. And you're competing with two teams in the same stadium, and he's the guy. So shout out to Justin Herbert. Looking forward to see what he does going forward. The number two quarterback and number one quarterback on the AFC side is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has been a Pro Bowl quarterback for the last two seasons. He's been a Pro Bowl quarterback for the last 3 years, but he played in the Super Bowl in 2024. So he didn't get a chance to go to the Pro Bowl in 2024. But the last 2 years, Lamar has been in the playoffs. I mean, in the Pro Bowl. So, all right, now this is not one of his better passing seasons as far as yards go. 4,475 yards. 40 touchdowns, 22 INTs. He did average 71 completion percentage. He also was 116 QBR, 10.7 yards to play, 22 INTs on a year. He was sacked 41 times. That's a big number there. A lot of that was with his offensive line. They as good as his offensive line has been playing, especially all of them playing the way they played in their rookie and first year. This year they played well. Like you would think 41 sacks. That's a lot of sacks, but when you look at the O line play and what Lamar had all year long, it wasn't. You had two linemen that didn't give up sacks at all. And even on the outside, your tackles didn't give up double-digit sacks all year long. That's saying something, especially when they're only in their second year. But Lamar, I think he was a little bit more he had to be the leader for this football team. They are very young. Like that Ravens team is very young. Anybody when it comes down to skill position outside of Mandrews, there's nobody that's over a year old, right? He played with rookies and first year players all around him as weapons, and I think he held it down. Like to be able to come out there and you're playing with a bunch of inexperienced players offensively, and your guy is Lamar that makes things happen. That shows you the intelligence. That shows you the gamer he is. That shows you what type of elite athlete he is. Doing the things he did for the Baltimore Ravens. They had a really tough schedule this year. They played really good football down the stretch. All the way even in last night's AFC Championship game. Now, the critics are going to talk about Lamar throwing 4 picks, 3 of them in the second quarter, which put him down 28-7 in the second quarter. He had a bad second quarter, but they were aggressive mistakes, right? They were mistakes that, Lamar you shouldn't make at all. But they the type of mistakes that you look at and say, I understood why, right? Like it wasn't just a retarded type of play where he just dummying out and doing dumb shit. He just had a bad second quarter and picked them behind the sticks. They played a really good game though. They fought back in that game, and had opportunities. But with that being said, Lamar on his third Pro Bowl, and he's playing elite football. So that's the good thing we can look for with the Baltimore Ravens is that they are straight at the quarterback position. He also had a really big season running the football this year. He used his legs really well. They counted on him and they wanted to emphasize him running the football this year. He kind of put on 834 yards rushing. He had 8.3 yards of carry, 17 rushing touchdowns this year, 4 fumbles. Matched the season high for last year, 4 again this year. But Lamar, starting to become the most dangerous dual threat quarterback in the league, and he's that guy again. Like, they spent, the first 2 years trying to get him to be a pocket passer and really understand the offense. While you got pieces changing around him, they needed him to stay steady. And this year they needed his legs a little bit more, and they got a lot out of him. So let's shout out to our 2 QB1s when you're talking about Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. Now, QB2s. Let's get back to it real fast and look at who we got over here chilling for the QB2s, Pro Bowl selection. And we're looking at Brock Purdy and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Snake, when I talk about these 2 quarterbacks, what comes to your mind when you hear the name Brock Purdy?
Mr. Irrelevant. He done worked his way up the ranks, and now he was kind of like gifted a team, and we were waiting for him to see if he could take that next step. Now this was the year we were trying to really see to see if he would take that next step to see if the keys was fully going to be handed to him. Is this his team and going forward or what? You know what I mean? Just I don't know if he fell a little bit short this year. I
He's
think.
a solid quarterback in my opinion. He has he got elite attributes, right? The thing about
Right.
quarterback play though is you're judged off of your wins and losses. And right now, there's a lot of teams that can't say, that can't say they beat the Seahawks, but that's his problem right now. I think Purdy's being judged off of him not being able to beat the Seahawks. Simple as that, right? Because he's beaten the Rams. They've played really good matchups, but he's been able to win that game. But he hasn't been able to win that Seahawks game. And at some point, you're gonna have to get over that hump and be able to beat that football team. Simple as that, right? Because that team is either going to beat you to win the division or beat you to knock you out of a Super Bowl berth. Simple as that. And that's what happened this year. They beat you for the division. They beat you twice for the division and then beat you to go to the Super Bowl for their second time. But Brock Purdy, the numbers is there. He's doing everything right. But and we love him for what he's doing, numbers, stats, and all that good stuff. But when it comes down to the come down, he's being judged by win and losses, and it's really in one game. So the question for me is he the guy? We've been asking that question since year one. Is he the guy for this team?
That
Because
is a
you know as well as
challenge.
I know, Snake, the 49ers have a really good football team, front to back. They come in as one of the number one ability teams in the league right away. So then you come in with that already being a win. Um, I got some questions and answers that I'm gonna ask as we continue to go on this show. We're gonna do some things that's gonna change the script on how things is going
How is
to.
he not the guy?
Uh, but the question is he the guy, right? And that's a good question. How is he not the guy, right? Well, when you sit back and look at what's been happening with the 49ers, right? The question and answer still becomes quarterback play. Simple as that. And right now, he hasn't been able to get over the hump. Are they going to be patient enough to see it through, or are they going to make a move and pull the trigger and try to go get a better quarterback? And it's crazy because you're like, how can you get a better quarterback, right? Purdy's up there, but he's still Mr. Irrelevant. And right now, he's still trying to make himself relevant
It's a
by
huge
winning that
play
big
every
game.
time.
Just because he Mr. Irrelevant means he's not going to get as many chances as a top draft pick would. Like I mean, you know what I mean? Shit, Carson Wentz. Look how many chances Carson Wentz got
Bucks.
is getting and has had in the league just because he was a top first round draft pick as opposed to a later draft pick. So
Right.
he's just not gonna. It sucks. It sucks, but that's just what it is in a nutshell.
All right, and then you're looking at QB2, DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson. Let's talk here or there. We both got big emphasis on this quarterback. We play him twice a year in that division. And honestly, he had a really good season that fell short in a game that they probably was projected to win by double digits, and they lost a big time game to the Titans. And that happens, but it seemed like it happens a lot more for this coach and this coaching staff. So is it game experience and planning those moments for DTR? Because the regular season he showed off all year. He's another quarterback, and you're looking at his overall, and he's at X Factor. He's ready to go. He has all his abilities unlocked and all that. So he can do some things in the passing game. They rely heavily on their run game this year, not far as, 400 carries type shit, but far as touchdowns and getting their guy going, they really showed a strong run game along with that passing game. But like, what do you think it's going to take for DTR to get over the hump? In a
I
division
think
where you got four really good quarterbacks.
I think this was a tough year. This was kind of a year for them. This team didn't. They objected to chose to keep a lot of veterans around DTR and move forward.
Hmm.
Now I think it's about that time you had a window where it's time to make some changes over there. I don't know what. I just look for them to be at a point where they, what I mean,
Only you
they've
know
been
your
teetering that
QB
line to
best,
have to make
Max. So
changes or
is he the
not. I
guy
think it's
or the
about
guy
time to
in the
have to make some
way?
changes and figure some things out over there.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to DTR, he's not a guy that's like right now the Browns have a franchise quarterback because he's not the guy that's going to kill you. But when they lose is when they're losing the ball game is when the run game ain't working and he turns the ball over. I do think he's interception prone. He throws a lot of picks. He's aggressive in throwing the picks, but like the way they play, they don't make the game hard for him, right? They don't ask him to be, a gunslinger and flingies. They ask
Well,
him just to make the
I
plays
think
within
we're
their
saying the
system.
same thing in a lot, in a sense. Like, I just think that he had them veteran. They opted to keep him veteran pieces to for the point now is let's say they was keeping him to see if he could be the franchise quarterback or if he could be the guy just to carry the team. So let's say they've come to find out that he's definitely the franchise quarterback.
Now
They
it's
don't
can he
expect
carry the
him to
team,
go right. He just didn't grow into that realm yet,
right?
and he hasn't. So now they're like at a standstill because you got the 30 and overs now. You got the real vets now. Like damn, we stuck with him. We thought he was gonna do it. All right, he ain't quite there yet, but in another year, season or another season, can he take that step? But we found out we're going to pay the guy.
But this is the thing though. The pressure is
Raiders.
on DTR this year, right? Here's why. Like you said, you got veterans. This team is about to have a turnover. It's coming, and everybody is in that situation. You're either a guy that made your turnovers early, and you're playing with a very young roster that's about to grow up, while a lot of veteran teams is about to blow up and start to get younger. right? You either the Raiders, the Ravens, the Bengals, you either the Jets, you either the Seahawks, you either the Niners, you either, you know what I mean? Or you these guys that got the veteran teams running around, and those guys are either getting phased out because they're getting old, or they're phasing out because it's time to move on and get guys younger in that position. So, it goes two ways. We're at the halfway mark right now, Greg, going to season 4. And what happens is, if you're resetting your roster anytime at season 5 and season 6, if you are resetting 5 and 6, you got to worry about those guys that did it in year 1, 2, and 3, right? Those guys would be ready. Those players would be ready to go. Going forward, right? And if you're a guy that already benefited with a young roster already, those guys will have to ask to get paid. So money about to be a problem. So you probably built some really good players over there, VI Seahawks, Niners. You guys built really good teams, right? And came in with, fairly young teams. Um, with the exception of the Niners having a little bit more veterans, but the Seahawks is a perfect example. They got players that are, they're still young enough to really be guys, and their overalls and who they are great, right? But then now it becomes those guys are great, they threshold players, and then their price tag is about to be up. So it's like, what type of build you're going to do? I think with the Browns not having the draft picks for the first 2 years, put them in a situation where they had to figure, like, they should have made moves. They didn't. They just bulked in. They just tightened up and played with that roster. But eventually, they're going to be asked to count on some guys that, that haven't either, that's not on the roster yet, or not really guys yet, where they got to be, they got to become those guys, right? And it's all about looking at your division and where you at, how you keep up with what's going on in the teams that you got to play. Are they guys that are in reset mode like you, or they got guys that are already getting ready to get into those modes where they threshold and they could be guys that can be counted on? Where you at roster wise? So I think DTR is in show me the money season, right? This is a show me the money season. He should be great, get paid, but this is a show me the money season. Who are you? Are you a guy that can win games and you can carry the team, or you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're a QB that can go get it, or you're a QB that's going not lose this. I'm trying to figure out. It's on my tip of my tongue. You know what I'm trying to say. When a game manager. Like, are you a game manager? Pause. Right, tip of my tongue. Shit. All right. Anyway, DTR is a show me year
My
for
hitter
him.
voice.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's why I said I think he's shown that he's a franchise quarterback. He's maybe a bit more than a game manager, but I don't think he's shown them this organization that he can totally go out there and just carry a team. You know what I mean? So and being that now that this team kind of finding that out, they're gonna have some questions to make going forward, man. I just but they made it to the playoffs and he's here, man. Shout
Look,
out to DTR.
when you got a top 5 defense, you need your quarterback not to go out there and lose you ball games. Simple as that. When your defense is top notch, like the Browns have shown over the last 2 seasons, where they playing top 10 defense, top 5 defense, you need your quarterback to be a gamer, right? Like, he can be a gamer. He could be anything you want him to be. Just don't be a guy to go out there and lose the ball game for you. And you saw that happen in the playoffs, right? You saw him go out there and lose the game for his team. Um, and that's where they at with DTR. I like him. I think I like the fact that he was drafted by the Browns, and they didn't even waste time. Uh they didn't give the $200 million man the opportunity to be the guy. They just rolled it right out with DTR right away. Next up, QB3s, you got Ray Will, and then you got Bulldog, the ugliest quarterback in the league, Bulldog Reynolds. Listen, the Raiders had an outstanding year this year. They did it with a diaper dandy. There's a few teams that did it with diaper dandies, and those diaper dandies played really good football for them all year long. But VI Jets, they're playing with Marino in the Super Bowl right now.
Super
And
Bowl.
he had an outstanding AFC Championship game. But Bulldog Reynolds was really good all year. Like, he was able to extend their offense. He was able to put them in a situation where, give me a second. I'm on a show. How can I help you? Yeah, mom. All right, so Bulldog Reynolds, in my opinion, I think he in a perfect scheme. I think he's a quarterback that they like did a really good. scouting and drafting. When they drafted him, they realized they knew exactly what type of quarterback they had. They need a guy that can stretch the field with a cannon of an arm. Um, via Josh Allen, like that type of quarterback, right? Good
Jamarcus
enough,
Russell.
yeah, good enough, good enough, athletic ability to be able to get yards in the run game. They don't need him to be that. They want him to be a guy that can hit the deep balls downfield. They want him to be a guy that can control the play clock, get their run game going, hit their running backs, check downs and things like that. Like, and he's doing all that for them. This is a guy that I think has a bright future, and honestly, the Raiders found their guy.
Yeah, it looks like that to me. We keep saying we think they're a year ahead of schedule, but that's two playoffs rows and runs in a row. Maybe not. Like have the Raiders taking over that division.
And man, look, man, what they did do is they put a young football team together that's still growing and developing, and they put a
Yes.
quarterback around that, and they all growing together. Can you see what this team will look like in season 5, 6, and 7?
Man, they took all them growing pains kind of at once, and
Mm-hmm.
even though they was growing, guys, they didn't waste no seasons. By
Mm-hmm.
they was playing their games and developing,
Mm-hmm.
and this one of the pieces they developed this year, man. Bulldog Reynolds.
All right. Now, Ray Wills, I like this quarterback because what they did was the Detroit Lions, they shuffled around. Hendon Hooker was about to be the guy over there. They play with Hendon Hooker for a season. They was able to get the number one quarterback in the first draft. In the 2024 draft, Ray Wills was the top dog quarterback. He was traded. And the Jaguars, as they're still in tank mode, they're still benefiting from this trade because they're gonna have 2 first-round picks this year and all that. But I think the Lions is actually enjoying that trade more at this point right now, right? What they did was they went and got them a dual threat quarterback. And in process of that, they wanted a strong arm dual threat quarterback, and they got exactly that. To play in the Lions system, you got to have a guy that can throw the football downfield. They got to better stretch the field vertically off of stretches and the run game, right? When they stretching you to death, and you got to come down in that box. They want to be one-on-one on the outside with their speed. But what I like about Ray Wills is he took the next step. This season he did. I don't care what the record was. He took the next step, and here's why. Jameson Williams is their speed demon. He's always going to be a guy that's going to have good numbers, right? And the more you pick in the box, the more you give him a shot to go run right by you. But Amon St. Brown stepped up this year as a slot receiver or number 2 receiver for this football team. And that tells me that they got a little bit bigger, a little bit more in depth into their playbook this year. And they did it through the run game with their quarterback. They turned him into a true dual threat, and they brought out a dual threat system where he's playing in a read option game. He's running the football. They call him design quarterback runs for him. But in the process of that, they also got Amon St. Brown going this year. And to me, that's a guy taking a step forward and what they try to do offensively. And that's good for this coach because now it's going to be hard to just predict what he does offensively. And they're starting to do other things, which is going to open up their playbook and open up them for having success. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, man. I think Ray Will came to close that door. Ray Will came into the right system, and it's showing why the Lions moved the capital they did to go get him. Right here in the Pro Bowl, we don't talk about Pro Bowl line quarterbacks too often. Shout out to Ray Will.
Well, the Lions come on a game with one of the better offensive lines in the league right away, and then they went and got the tackle Tunsil and strengthened that offensive line even more. So this quarterback is coming into a situation where he already has a front five. That old line is already really good. They have a really good running back in the backfield, and they got speed and a guy that can go make big plays for him in a receiving game. So now it's just what else do you need from this offense? And that's just to continue to grow and what they doing right now. Stay within your system and expand it and continue to move forward. I think they're gonna give the NFC North some issues this upcoming season.
Yeah, definitely a look for them to be in the mix. They kind of went all in with Ray Will, I believe. Got rid of some of them draft picks, not sitting on no first round picks for a couple of years. So I definitely expect to see more to come from these Lions.
Yes, sir. All right,
Will, Will.
we get to the running backs right now. H backs ones, two, and three. Right, Jameer Gibbs for the Lions, and you got Javante Williams for the Broncos. The Broncos with a new coach, and they rolled the back of their workhorse, right? And they gave him the carries, and rightfully so, right? They got a young superstar quarterback that's up and coming, probably one of the lowest overall superstar quarterbacks in our league. But they understood they had a young quarterback and they still had pieces they need. I thought they did a really good job in the draft. And I think they're going to continue to build, especially with having another one. They only had one off season, but another one together is going to get this team closer to what this coach is trying to do. But I think they did the right thing. And Javante Williams was our rushing leader this year. He carried the ball more than any other running back in the league this year, and he rolled them to a playoff. Simple as that. They were the number two team in the AFC West. And, coming down the stretch, week 18, they won the game they needed to win to get themselves in, knocking the Bills and the Chiefs out of the playoffs. So right now, is the Broncos the number two team in that division, or is it the Chiefs still?
Sheesh. This next upcoming season gonna tell a lot, man. We got a
Hmm.
lot of questions to be answered over here, and I mean, I just say Mahomes has some young guys over there closing them gaps over there. Some teams over there got some guys over there closing gaps on certain positions, and teams getting better.
You gotta look at the three teams that are winning over there right now, and that's the Broncos, Chiefs, and the Raiders. And them guys are, uh, pretty much got what they got a game plan, and what that game plan is, you know, to get them closer to being dominant over there. But I think if you look at one team that's showing themselves, it's the Raiders. Like if they win it one more season, they win the division the next year. They own that division right now. Like I know they won it 2 years in a row. I still don't think they own the division. But if they win it outright this season, it's their division to lose going forward. H-back twos, J.K. Dobbins and Kendra Miller over there. I think J.K. is perfect for Mahomes. I think he's probably one of the best running backs he had. And here's why I say that: Mahomes, as he's getting up there in age, you need a guy that can carry the load running the football, so you ain't just throwing the ball 40 times a game. I think it's making him a better quarterback. Having a run game that he can rely on. And Kendrick Miller is the Saints, right? You look at the Saints, and I
We've
like
been
the
talking
Saints.
about him since day one.
Yeah, he is the Saints.
Coming
He's the
into the
guy.
league
He makes you forget about Alvin Kamara on some real
real
shit.
quick. Yeah, you got kind of started forgetting about Alvin Kamara instantly
Right.
after the first season or two. And you had little double back stuff going on, but now Miller's showing that he is the guy over there, coming in that number two spot in the NFC. Everything goes through him
And then the guy been such a dog for his football team. He's in the conversation of top 5 to 10 running back in the league right
in the
now.
league, not just the NFC. Right?
Yes,
Exactly.
in the league. And I think they can, as long as the Saints have him, they build around that. And not for nothing, they got a lot out of Zach Wilson this year. I thought Zach Wilson played pretty well for them. Um, and his highlight win was over his old team, the Jets. But like, I think they got a lot out of him. They threw the football a lot. They came out 5 wides. They did some things over there in New Orleans. I think they're going to build from that and continue to move forward. Especially, we're going to see really what this team is about this season coming up when the Falcons is back on track. And with that being said, B. John Robinson is running back number 3. He's been top 5 for sure. Took a season off in a sense, but the newcomer on this list is Tajay Spears for the Titans right now. And the only running back that we're looking at on this list that doesn't have an ability, he was second in the league in rushing yards, carries, all that stuff. Like he played really well for the Titans, and honestly, it was one of the reasons why this team ended up making the playoffs and even winning a playoff game. But they're way ahead of schedule right now. The Titans, new coach, new system over there, they getting familiar with it. And I think the ceiling is so high for that football team as a whole. And Tajay Spears, let's see if he goes up on ability when we advance, because that's going to be big for this Tennessee Titans football team. As good as he's been all year, I do think they need to find a way to put some type of passing game together with Malik Willis. Is he the guy? Is he not? Like, if you're not going to better throw the ball with him, you better involve him in your run game. over there. So all right, you got Ben Bishop, the fullback. For the I don't know who he plays for. If this is your fullback, let me know. And then Farley Gumby, fullback for the Ravens is fullbacks one. You got Wake and Elliott, fullbacks two. Ezekiel Elliott, how about him extending his career as a fullback?
And he's been up here Pro Bowl fullback for a couple of years now, so he's definitely extended his career. Man,
I need a 30 second. We need a 30-second commercial. We'll be right back. Snake gonna give y'all some plugs while we're on our little 30-second commercial break.
hope everybody re-signing your players, re-signing your players, player. Seen that chat room heating up, man. Man, we got some big names on the block, man.
Do my rewards while
Somebody
you
got
wait,
some
Snake
players on the
loudly
block. Y'all
crying
want to
face.
tell me we can let everybody know in the league, man. Seen some big names on the block, trade block. Who else on the block, man? Big Super Bowl matchup, man. Jets versus Seahawks this evening. Oh my gosh. Do my rewards while you wait. Hey, yo, yo. Hey, Sean, man, you better stay off that Hollywood powder, man. You're having too much fun in Hollywood. Hollywood and Candyland. Yeah, I can't even flip the screen. You talking about fullbacks. We don't care about fullbacks.
Mahomes and Andy Reid just
Mahomes
had a
and Andy
fight in
Reid
the
just had a
parking lot,
fight
loudly
in
crying
the
face.
parking lot. Uh-oh. Has Mahomes requested?
Having too much fun in Cancun.
Mahomes has requested a trade. Is that what I'm hearing? Mahomes requested a trade. Is that what we're hearing? Mahomes requested a trade. What other big names on the block out here? Cause I don't want to sit here and talk. I can't believe he left the screen on Ezekiel Elliott at fullback.
Yup, he's requesting a trade before
Ezekiel Elliott
next
at
season.
fullback. Wow. Will he really left his screen on fullback?
Bears.
All right, all right. Wide receivers in the league. We got a resurgence of Justin Jefferson. And who's this cat? This cat, R. Moss, Randy Moss, Rubber Hands
AMIFB
Moss.
Wake.
Gotta be a boom wide receiver. So that's why he decided not to trade Josh Allen because he got a Reggie Moss. Reggie over
Puhana
there
better
smoking
be
that
in Pro Bowl.
Reggie.
All right. So we're hearing that the fullback belongs to the 49ers, who Ezekiel Elliott is playing fullback for this year.
Probably the Jets, to be honest.
John, if he did
Probably.
play for the Jets, he wouldn't be on here. They in the bowl.
Oh yeah, you're right. Guess my bad. Is he still on the Patriots? I'm going to look real quick. Let's just
Patriots.
see. He's still on
Patriots.
the
Yep. He
Patriots.
is on the Patriots. I know that for a fact.
Uh, yep, he's still on the Patriots. Oh,
All right. So as we get to
so
the fullbacks over with, let's get to these wide receivers. And you're looking at Justin Jefferson for the Minnesota Vikings at wide receiver one in the Pro Bowl, and Reggie Moss for the Bills. All right. So I like both of these. You got Justin Jefferson being a veteran right now, and being a guy from Minnesota, especially with a young quarterback. It's special that he's up here playing with a diaper dandy at the quarterback
FU
position.
isn't
That
belongs to
means
the Bucks.
that means a lot, right? That means if I'm Justin Jefferson and you're the number one receiver in the NFC for the Pro Bowl, you're comfortable as fuck, and you like the fact that you got a rookie. Because most veterans don't want to play at a rookie quarterback. They don't got time for a guy to develop and wait for him to become that guy. They feel like their numbers going to go down. We know wide receivers are divas, but in this case, Justin Jefferson actually got better. And usually around this time, you'd be like, I wonder where Justin Jefferson going to go. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's comfortable in Minnesota. And he obviously playing good football. And looking at Reggie Moss, he was the diaper dandy that went crazy this year. Josh Allen found himself a deep threat, found himself a number one receiver. And it's great to be able to come off of Stephon Diggs to a Reggie Moss where you got a big time receiver for a couple of years, and now you got another guy for a guy that's getting up there and got a lot to prove in Buffalo right now. I think the coach for the Buffalo Bills has gotten comfortable with Josh Allen. And they did a really good job. Oh, excuse me. They did a really good job addressing their defense in the off season. Like they did a really good job addressing their defense. And they also took that young youth that they drafted because they had a really good draft defensively. But then they had two veterans from the Pittsburgh Steelers on that same roster. Now it didn't work out for them in the playoffs. They got raped like a motherfucker for those two players. I wouldn't have did that, right? I do like the TJ Watt trade. But I don't know if I'd have gave up all that in the same draft class for those two players. Although they weren't that type of shit, I just think age wise. But look, to me, we laughed at it because he didn't make the playoffs and we was able to talk shit about it and all that. But I think behind closed doors, and I know I'm talking about Reggie Moss, but I do think that trade is a win for them. Especially going into this next season if they can get into a playoffs because of it. Because now you got two guys on that defense that's going to help that very young, very, very young defense get better. All right. But Reggie Moss, man, I mean, the numbers he put up, what he did for that Buffalo Bills, he was a human highlight all year long. And that last name rung bells because he had a bunch of you got Moss moments this season. And I think he's going to be 10 times better next year. We spoke about Amon St. Brown, all right, and then Diaper Dandy Kai Fo. But Amon St. Brown needs the attention when it comes to the wide receiver twos because I just think that, it shows the growth of that coach over there for the Lions to be able to get Amon going and have him. I mean, obviously, a superstar coming into the league, but like to get him going and have him as a Pro Bowl receiver, that means your system is getting better. So shout out to Ray once again. All right, so you look at the Rams in real life. This kid goes off for real. He's like the new Cooper Cup, and on the game, he's the new Cooper Cup. I think this is a guy you got to worry about. He does the right things all the time. He's a great route runner. Um, he knows how to separate, knows how to get in and out of his breaks, and he make plays for this Rams team. And Justin Herbert really has found his number one receiver in Nusa. I like it. You got Andrews for the Browns, who's becoming the number one receiver over there. Not only that, Cooper was the guy, but he took Cooper's number and he's replacing Cooper right now. Andrews is DTR's number one target as a receiver for sure. Then you got the Rams again up here and Gabe Davis, a name that you wouldn't even expect to be in the Pro Bowl or even being somebody that's we got to talk about, but we got to talk about it, right? Gabe Davis, another one of those put your hard hat on and go to work, strap up your tin boots and let's get it done. And that's what's happening. Justin Herbert got guys that he can rely on, guys that are going to be in the right spots at all times, right? Guys that have done it for a while, that's been in the league, that understand how to play the receiver position, and that's Gabe Davis. All right, Andrew Roth, the fastest man in football right now. And guess what? The Colts got themselves one. Speed kills. At the end of the day, you can't teach it. You can't stop it if you know how to do the right things with that type of speed. And Andrew Roth is, the new Tyreek Hill league right now. If you really think about it, we waiting to see what he does with that. Right now, he's a Pro Bowl receiver. That's dope as hell. But like, we think he could be better than he is right now. You saw what Josh Downs did in that system. What happens when they got another guy that can stretch the field and get behind any defense? So I can't wait to see what his sophomore campaign looks like. At number 5 wide receivers, you got Jamar Chase and Pooh or P. Dot over there at number 5, balling out. He's the number one receiver for sure over there in the 49ers nation. He's the guy. While they're building guys, he's the guy. He's the old reliable right now. And the thing is, he's only in his second season. For him to be the reliable guy, that just tells you where this offense is going to be uh, in a few more seasons, right? When you got a guy that has been there, done that, and put the work in enough where you can rely on him. Right now, you got a guy that's that guy, but he's gonna get knockouts when you're playing against veteran or better DBs and things like that. He'll still drop footballs, things like that. You need him to be that guy that you can count on, and he's coming into that. Jamar Chase, to me, I play him twice a year. He's still one of the best receivers in the league right now. They had a down season this year, so you really didn't get to see him do what he has been doing over the first 3 seasons or first 2 seasons. But Jamar Chase is at that age and that overall where he's that guy right now, and he's going to be that guy for a couple of more seasons. And he's the engine to make that offense go when it's time to throw the football. Paris Campbell, Xavier Hutchinson. Xavier Hutchinson is on the block, 6'3", big body guy, right? I know he said something in the trade chat that guys going crazy earlier. But he's a bigger receiver, 6'3", 205 pounds. He's a guy that developed really well over there for CJ Stroud. Unless they got an answer, I don't know why they would want to even trade him. I think he is really legit for this team, but I can see why they, would get rid of a player like that. Paris Campbell has exceeded expectations since the league started and since he's been a Cardinal, and he's continued to do that. At tight ends, you got Dave Allen and Mark Andrews, tight end ones, right? Tune for the Bears. Um, I think this Hill kid plays for the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. Parham Jr., tight end 3. That sound like that's the Broncos. Only here, go get him. Right. Johnson, Saints, tight
It's
end.
got to be the Broncos this year
Um,
without even looking.
yeah, Batum came into his own as a rookie last year. He really opened up the offense for Justin Fields, and I think he's going to continue to do that. Flat out, continue to do that. Allen is really underrated. Like he's a sleeper. I don't think you realize how much of importance he is to that Rams offense over there. But again, another put your hard hat on and lace up your boots. I'm about to shoot a true tight end going out for the loops. And Mark Andrews, Andrews getting up there in age. He'll be 30 at the end of the year, and he played well enough to still remain a superstar in this league. Um,
Top five, top five, top five, top five.
yes, sir. And what Mark Andrews did was he solidified is that he would not go to another team, that he will end his career as a Baltimore Raven, and that's dope. You know, since I haven't seen a guy do that since Ray Lewis.
Man, what does that do for a team showing that they take care of their own? Eesh. Oh man, that's tough.
Tune Hill. Yeah, man, they there. They taking care of their guys. All right, offensive line play. Let's talk about this.
African snub for TNSF.
What? Yo, did I miss something?
I don't know what he talking about, but I do know Ronnie Stanley made the left tackle and Joe Jones Israel in his second Pro Bowl. Who got snubbed?
Oh, he said his tight end got snubbed in San Francisco.
Tunsil, another trade for the Lions that to me was a really big trade early on. He's been up there in the Pro Bowl, and you got Colton Miller at the left tackle as well. So I'm liking these tackles, your 1 and 2s. Um, you got veteran Stanley, ex-Raven. His replacement, Joe Jones, has been in the Pro Bowl 2 years in a row. One as a rookie and now in the sophomore campaign. Tunsil's there, Miller's there. You got Avila, and then you got Voorhees. Voorhees is going into third season without giving up a sack. Patino for the Browns. You got Barnett, left guard. 1 and 2, you got Avila at 1, Voorhees 1, Patino and Barnett 2. You're looking at centers, Linderbaum and Irwin. Who Irwin played for? We know Fragno played for the Lions and Creed Humphreys, center number 2 for the Chiefs. Zach Martin for the right guards for the Cowboys at number 1. And then you got Emil Eoyor Jr. for the Ravens.
Play
He's
for the 49ers.
all right. And then you're looking at a guy that's on star at right guard for the Baltimore Ravens. Probably one of not that many offensive lines in the league. That's that one of the few offensive lines in the league that doesn't have 5 across the board on superstar. And this guy has been in the Pro Bowl since he's been a Baltimore Raven and on star. Look like Ian Gray and then Bundy for the Chiefs and Gray for the Niners at right guards number 2. Now when it comes down to right tackle, McClendon. Right tackle 71. Who McClendon went to? Is that the Giants or the Bucks?
Rams.
Rams. Yep. Rams. Yep. And JoJo's brother, Eric Jones Israel, with the Israel family in Baltimore. At right tackle number 1. At 2, you got Buford and Lucas. I don't know who Lucas 6'7", 340, who he played for. But if you are watching, who Lucas played for, he's 6'7", 340 pounds. Gee.
Oh, the Seahawks.
Nah, he ain't on the Seahawks. They in the Super Bowl.
Abraham Lucas? Oh.
D. Lucas. Look for AFC team. Yep.
The Browns.
All right.
Broncos.
Big time. Look like it's a rookie too, ain't he?
Oh wow, it's
Diaper Dandy.
It's another Lucas on the here rookie.
Diaper Dandy in the building.
It's another Lucas on the
Shit, no wonder they was running the ball like that. You got 6'7" right tackle, moving motherfuckers at 340. Let's get to the defensive side of things. Our first Diaper Dandy at DN. Is like, look, you gotta talk about Derek Johnson, bro. 6'8", 275. He is a man child at the defensive end. And let's just be real. I think the Cardinals are underrated when it comes down to what they have on defense. This team is super young and super good on defense, and they're going to be a problem in that NFC West going forward. I think they complete a full season, and the reason why they not showing who they are yet is because they haven't completed a full season yet. This is a guy that was in 10 leagues before the league started and was super, super excited for the league to start when it wasn't starting, with a month of waiting and then get in the league and haven't played a complete season yet.
The league he started hanging out in the video, dancing in the videos, hanging out on the boat ships. He getting his P Diddy on.
Right, getting his Diddy on and shit. You better get it together.
Hollywood Diddy.
All right, and then Jalen Phillips for the Dolphins has been lights out since year 1. So I like this. I like the 2 DNs, 1 and 2 right now. I mean, AFC and NFC number 1s. But the number 2, Max Crosby's been a Pro Bowler for 2 different teams. Actually 3. He was a Pro Bowler for the Raiders, Pro Bowler for the Bengals, and now Pro Bowl for the Bears. And the funny thing is, his replacement is that guy right now, number 2 Pro Bowler right now, and that's Myles Murphy, who could do a little bit of everything. Outside linebacker, DN. He's versatile. Just like Micah Parsons, Myles Murphy is a speed guy that can, with really, really big, no homo, but big size, 275, but can play outside linebacker in the 3-4. Tyree Wilson is coming into his own for the Raiders. This guy has literally really been the guy for that defense, right? Like he is, he works hand in hand with that secondary when you got DBs that make plays, especially like 7th rounder, making all them damn plays over there for the Raiders. Wilson is the guy that's holding down the front 4, and he's a man child, and that first round grade is starting to show itself. Look, Van Ness for the Packers, bro, quiet, but he was top 5 when it came out of DNs and edge rushers coming out of the 2023 draft. And like quiet as kept, you probably don't, really think of him at all. Most people probably don't even know who the hell he is, but he's been really good for that Packers defense. And then you got David Ajabo, who's, had put his hand in the dirt since season 1. They moved him to defensive end right away, and he's been that guy. He's been a guy for Baltimore. He's one of their better edge rushers. He's one of their better D linemen right now. Threshold at 98 overall. And even though he doesn't lead their team, he wasn't the sack leader on that team, hasn't been yet. I don't think in one season, but like he's very disruptive, and that line is getting more experience and better as they go along. Like that's going to be a really scary defense. You got to really look at the entire AFC North as a whole when it comes down to the front seven defensively. Like those guys are getting, the Bengals have made a trade at the linebacker position and get a little better there, and their front four is sick already. They can go 5 to 6 deep up front. Baltimore is loaded up front, like that's about to be the strength of their defense going forward. And the secondary is matching that, although they were ranked 25 in the league as a pass defense, but when you got all rookies in your secondary, but your edge rushers and your front seven is like there, right? They them guys where you got 4 year players, 3 year players, and then you got a middle linebacker that's, one of the best middle linebackers in the league, and Roquan Smith. I think they just got really good experience up front, and then nothing but 1st year player and rookies to surround that all our ability guys to be able to come in as number twos and subs, things like that. Like they're really going to be really good up there, and Ajabo is fighting to remain, on this Ravens roster right now. All right, Kenny Clark at the D tackle position, and there's Dexter Lawrence. So you ask yourself, this year, I don't think Quinnen Williams should be ignored, but I think Quinnen Williams is going to have to show us one more season of what he did this year to actually steal that number one spot from Dexter Lawrence. Although Dexter Lawrence had a really good first season with the Bengals off the trade, I don't know what his numbers was completely like this year, but I do know he was double digits again this year and had a million fucking tackle for losses. So I think he still holds down the number one defensive tackle in the league. But Kenny Clark's up there as well too. You can see it with overall too, 90 overall. Um, you can see it coming, right? A guy that's going to be a problem. And these guys are guys that have been in the league and they've been understanding their system for a while now, and they're doing what they got to do. Number two at D tackle is Overeem for the Rams. The Rams got two really good D tackles over there right now. And Overeem is the younger one, 6'5", 330 pounds. And then you got T.J. Lindsey for the Texans at 6'4", 340 pounds, playing really good football for them. He's been in the awards racing, talking about being a Pro Bowler over the last 2 seasons. This is his second year right now. And then you got Amari Boone, right? Probably one of the first D tackles in our league that recorded an interception in the ball game, in the meaningful ball game too. But he was the number one D tackle in the 2024 draft, and he's starting to play like that. I mean, looking at 6'6", 350 pounds at the D tackle position, and the guy ain't even threshold yet. Like, and the same thing for Burke, 83 overall, 97, 6'1", 293. These guys that are in development stages, but are on their way. So shout out to those guys. You got Thule. Is Thule the big name on the Rams defense when we talk about the Rams being like a blue collar football team, hard work, head down, let's go. Not too many like guys that are, superstars, right? But it's Thule that guy. Did he take over for Donald?
Is there any more Donald?
Did he take over for Donald as the best edge rusher on that team?
Yeah, definitely. I believe so.
The Rams is putting it together defensively. They're starting to surround you, right? If you look at that defense, right, they got two really good D tackles, right? Thule is the edge rusher. They're still grooming another edge rusher over there, and to go along with that secondary that's getting better. But up front, they starting to put it together over there. I think if they get one more guy to open up and explode a little bit, no homo, then they're gonna be in a good situation defensively going forward. I left outside linebacker. You're looking at Adolphe Owe. Adolphe Owe numbers has went down this year sack wise going, but like he's still up there in the top 5 sack category. But Owe, right? Owe is he's. I mean, what else do you want to say about him? Like he's at linebacker, but he gets his money at the end, hand in the dirt. But he's when you're looking at a guy that has that type of speed, runs a 4.3. 4.38. I mean 4.32. When you got a guy running that fast at defensive end at 257 pounds, 6'5", he's going to be a problem. I think he's been developing a little bit more, asked to drop back and cover. That they wanted to open that part of his game up a lot more over the last season or two. And it's starting to pay off. But I think they put the depth behind him where they don't need him to do that. Like eventually you're going to see him with his hand in the dirt. only at coming into next year. And Coach Harbaugh was adamant about that. Adolphe Owe will be a guy that will be a hand in the dirt guy. We don't really want to use him at outside linebacker anymore, because we feel really, really, really strong about the depth that we got. And that's because of Jimmy Voorhees, Jason Voorhees, his brother, the left outside linebacker number 2, Jason Voorhees up here for the Bills. He started all year. His brother redshirted for the Baltimore Ravens, but Jason has been a problem. Right, Mr. Friday the 13th himself, 6'5", 255 pounds at outside linebacker for for the Buffalo Bills, 92 overall. And then Bills, I think Bills for the 49ers is starting to ask himself, am I the guy over here? We know who our middle linebacker is, but am I the next step on that defense, right? Because honestly, Bosa's been real quiet for this team. But Robert Bill hasn't been. Anytime you get a guy that comes in running like speed kills, especially at the linebacker position, and Robert Bill is the speed guy. He's big enough to better play DN as well. Like, so it's like, what do they do with this kid, like, to make him take his next step?
Just get him on the field.
He's been on the field, but like, is he going to be a true? You got to think about it. To me, just my opinion, Bosa hasn't been really that guy to really, like, for him to be one of the best, if not top 5, DNs in the league. I'm quite sure overall wise he's top 5, but like, I just don't think he's been playing that type of good football. And honestly, he's been playing better at the 3 technique, right? At D tackle more than he has been on the edge. And that tells me that, you need another guy to step up to be an edge rusher. And is it Robert Bill? Like, I think that's the next way they go. And the testament is going to be what happens if Robert Bill can hold up on the edge like that with that type of speed, 94 speed coming off the edge. What happens with that? On Papo, you know it and I know it. He's been a user. So we got some good users in this league, but like, I think honestly he's the best user in the league right here with Papo. He does nothing but make plays as a user with this guy at the middle linebacker position. Another guy that got speed, was the fastest linebacker in the draft. And he's been a Pro Bowler.
Me.
And he's been a Pro Bowler and an awards winner each year since we started. So has Tyndall. Tyndall has a really good speed as well from that linebacker position. And to be honest with you, that's the strength of that Dolphins team. Like, they're veterans in the secondary, but that strength of that team is that young linebacker core. They got some guys at the linebacker position. They're about 5, 6 deep at the linebacker position, to be honest with you. And Tyndall has been doing his thing at the middle linebacker position. And my guy Overshawn, the Wolverine for the Cowboys, and then Cam Jones for the Chiefs. At middle linebackers number 2. Both of these guys have been up here more than one occasion. You got Alex Bowman for the 49ers, and there's the other guy, Emmitt Smart for the Dolphins. And again, like I said, you got guys like, now look, you got Bowman, 6'5", 245 pounds. Now on the smaller side, as far as weight to be at DN, but the height is pretty good. And a guy like that can help Robert Bills be, a guy that put his hand in the dirt. I don't know, or you got both of those guys playing left and outside. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I do know they got a decision to make over there. But Emmitt Smart is part of that linebacker group that the Dolphins got that makes them a special defense in this league. They're young. All those guys are from the first and second draft class, and they're all making plays for him except Tindall. Tindall's the vet, and he's still young. He ain't even older than 25 yet, like 26 years old at the most. But they are loaded at that linebacker position, and they're very young, and it's just nothing but all ceiling and signs pointing up going forward with that linebacker group, especially with that secondary that's veterans. Like, when you got veteran secondary and they start to slow down, like a Ramsey, those guys start to slow, Howard, things like that. They start to slow down in their speed and things they can do. What happens when you got a front seven that harasses your offense, puts those guys in situations to still be guys, right? Because we saw in the Bills game, we saw that with Ramsey. He couldn't try Reggie Moss over there on Ramsey's side, and if you waited too long, those linebackers got to you. Crawford at linebacker outside right on number 2, 6'6", 255, and Northrop from the Bills at 55, number 55, 6'1", 245.
Lions, I think.
Crawford from the Lions, right?
Yeah.
hmm And then you got Aiden Hutchinson, who's now an ability. So you're starting to get a guy that can come off the edge. They got a young secondary guy that's making plays for him. And then now you got a outside linebacker that can make some plays for you. And when you got a power offense that run it down your throat, no homo, you need a defense that can line up and play smash mount just as well. So the Lions are starting to show themselves a little bit right now. If I'm the NFC North, I'm a little worried about that.
Look at these corners.
All right, Q corners number one. First of all, Ron Edwards, a diaper dandy, 6'2", 200 pounds for the Cardinals. And then PJ Hatcher, the seventh rounder. That's his name, seventh rounder.
Sheesh. One star. Damn, do he go up?
I'm gonna find out. Adobo has been up here for a couple. Like the fact that Adobo's up here tells me a lot.
No,
The
you're
Saints
not.
and their guy is playing some good football. Greg Newsome, the second for the Browns, is in the building again. Jalen Ramsey made the Pro Bowl right now. That cornerback number 3, and Lee Neor for the 49ers is up there too. At cornerback 4, both of them tweeners. You got Ed Reed Jr. and you got Harvey Thompson. That did a really good job this year playing slot corners and safety. Now let's break that down for a second. If you first of all, a tweener means a guy that can play safety and corner, and you can make the switch between safety and corner with them, no matter what the formation is. And that don't mean you got it. You can move them to safety
Long
one week.
winded.
Listen to me. Doesn't mean you can move a corner to safety one week and then move them back the next week. They just can play that position. You're not going to be penalized for playing a guy at corner or a guy at safety. Now, this is the problem. You just don't decide you got a tweener because you said it in your head you're a tweener. We label tweeners. There are some takes and some gives. You can always look at the hit power. If it's over a 80, then you know they're a tweener. If their cornerback and their hit power is 80, 85 or above, then they're a tweener. Simple as that. That's the first tell all right there. And then after that, you're going to have to hear us tell you they're tweeners. You're not just going to say, oh my God, I got a tweener. No, nope. You'll know if they're tweeners by us labeling them tweeners, right? So let's get that straight. That don't mean that guy can play this, and that, or just because you just decided to play him there and then say it later. Like, just understand the difference. Now, tweeners are really good to have because they intertwine. Like the Saints will benefit the way he played defense, and the Bills as well. Those guys that play dollar and like to have their corners coming off the edge and all that, you'll benefit for drafting a tweener and that style of defense. All right, safety's number one. You got Louis Sign and Isaiah Palamayo, Raiders and the Vikings. You got Hightower for the Bears, who've been lights out all year for the Bears. And this is another thing. Like, you got a guy that's 6', 210 pounds. Can he play sub linebacker? And the answer is no. One, he ain't 6'1". To be able to move a safety to sub linebacker, they got to be 6'1" and at least 215, not 214, not 213, not 212, 215 or above, and at least 6'1". Yeah, yeah. All right, my guy Russ
Tell
East
me not
balling
sneeze in
out,
face.
and Baker, A. Baker. Don't give me the line right now. I think this is the Dolphins. 6'2", 202, strong safety Baker. I think he belongs to the Dolphins, and we do know Yeast is the Rams. Safety who've been balling out. Max Kellum for the Packers been balling out for the last 2 years, and then Kyle Hamilton coming into his own at strong safety number 2 in the Pro Bowl. At the kicker position, you got Moody and York. Punters, you got Gillikin and Scott. And then return man, you got Wandale Robinson and Dotson. And then Raymond and Mitchell. I don't spend time on who they play for and all that because when you get to the kick returner, punt returner, they never get the right ones right. They just throw names up there. Like Mitchell, he hasn't ran a punt or a kickback for me in 2
JT Woods
seasons.
is Chargers.
I know who
They got
JT Woods play for.
they got Wendell Robinson right. Shit.
Yeah, they definitely did. He was belling on me.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember that shit.
Yeah.
JT Woods has been in the Pro Bowl for the last 2 years, right? Am I 100% right there?
I think he do got multiple Pro Bowls.
I know Darwin James been up there,
Darwin James definitely been up there. Shoot.
and JT Woods. I think he's been playing really good enough football to be there twice as well.
Yes.
Dang. Oh, this is JT Woods' first Pro Bowl.
That's his first one. He been in the conversation for something though. Like he been up there, been in the conversation for something, something. Let's get to the schedule right now. All right, right to the playoff tree.
6 tackles, 11 interceptions this year. Sheesh.
All right, we got into the wild card round, fellas, and this is how it went. You had the seedings was the Seahawks and the Ravens having the number one seed. The Seahawks got themselves back to a Super Bowl at undefeated, and they are one game away from finishing an undefeated season off and making a Miami Dolphins 72 team pick them champagne bottles up. But they're the number one seed that stayed number one all throughout, and they're gonna face the number two seed from the AFC. Now, week one in the wild card rounds, 39-33, big time ball game over there. Bears and the Packers. This is a big ball game right here. 39-33. It's always hard to play a team three times in a season. Like it's just very hard to play a divisional guy in the playoffs. Like anything can happen. You go from things being great to things being like, uh-oh, what the fuck going on? There's always something right now, right? But we're here, and what do you do when we're here? We're going to get to the get-tos right now to find out what happened in this ball game. And I know what I know. I say what I say. Let's get to it. Justin Fields versus young Drew Reigns, the diaper dandy in his first playoff action. Let's go. So look, 409 yards for the Packers, 458, and the Bears win that. 186 on the ground. We talked about the Bears having a run game, and this is the reason why I thought the Packers would win this ball game. I did not see that coming. 186-78. Bears win that. Now, offensive passing yards, 331 to 272. Did not see that coming. Packers win that. First downs, 22-17. Bears win that. You get down here to turnovers, 2-1. Packers win that. But time of possession was even Steven, 16-34 and 15-26. And the Chicago Bears started off strong, 14-3. Then they go up 21-6. And then the Green Bay Packers come screaming back in the second half, but it wasn't enough to get the win. And you look at individual stats. Drew Ryan, 114.5 QBR, 331 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception for the diaper dandy. 63%, 10 yards of play. That man was striking. Only 1 interception, didn't get sacked at all. But neither did Justin Fields. 97.6. He wasn't short this week. It wasn't my leg hurt, I'm not playing, coach. None of that. He was on the field. 272, 1 touchdown, 2 INTs. 88 completion percentage, 15.1 yards of play. This man was striking. I'm talking about damn near 90% this game, bro. He was on fire, but they didn't ask him to really go crazy, right? Like, why? Because he didn't throw the ball. Like, he didn't go nuts. I mean, I don't see nothing that says he went nuts in this ball game, but when you complete 16 out of 18, that matters, bro. That's a guy that understood what he was doing offensively and took what they gave him, and every time he went out and struck, he did strike gold. And no matter, because it was 15 yards to play, so it wasn't like it was check down Charlie the entire fucking game. Justin Fields. All right, in the run game, Devon Ward off the edge from Michigan, the X factor out of the drive. 1 carry, 87 yards, and a touchdown. Looks like a jet sweep to me. To the crib. And they studied. They gave Herbert 16 carries. He averaged 5.2. He scored as well. Now, Fields had a touchdown, only 3 yards, ran 4 times in this ball game. They got busy, right? Key, though, the rookie, 15 for 80. He ain't not have a bad game, 5.3 yards to carry. Like, at this point right now, you're not really turned off by the Packers offense right now, right? Then you look at the receiving game. Christian Watson comes into his own. Man-child, 7 for 151, 21.6 the T. But the tight end, Rashawn Toombs, does it again. Give me 100 yards, because that's what I do. I'm Mr. 100 yards every game. 5 for 116. He played well. Carl Sauce, 3 catches, 76 yards and a touchdown. Ward, 4 for 75 in the T. Musgrave from the tight end position had 50 yards in the T. Moore had 3 carries for 41 yards, and then Velas Jones still around, 3 for 36. And that was the offense on both sides. They both was productive, really good offensively, to be honest with you. It comes down to the winning team, right? And that's what we talk about. All it comes down to is who made plays right now. And Brisker led the team in tackles. Looking at tackle for losses, Freddie Underwood had three of them things, the linebacker for the Bears. Sacks, nobody had a sack, but an INT was recorded, and that was Jaquan Brister. So he led the team in tackles, had a tackle for loss, and a sack in his ball game. I think the defense is the reason why they won that ball game, so he would probably get the MVP of that game. Bears move on. They're going to the second round, divisional round. They waiting on their opponent as it goes. Corey said, "I'm not going home so fast, my friend. Y'all picked me to lose. Y'all lost that parlay. Hey. Then over there in the first game for the newly coached Broncos, they get into a game that they just was outmatched in, period, right? Like, you're not going to come in that game one-dimensional, and you're just not ready to play a team like the Jets right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just took this team over. There's nothing wrong with that. When we get into this matchup and we know what happens, we take a look at it. So the Jets outgained them 412 in their offensive yards total. They also outgained them in the rushing yards and in the passing game. They also got them with the first downs. Shit, even punt return to kick return yards, they won that. Total yards, they won that. Turnovers, they won that. Time of possession, that didn't matter. They didn't win that, but it wasn't that far off from each other. Now, let's go look at the diaper dandy. Marino, 145 QBR, 280 yards pass, 3 touchdowns, no pick. He was locked the fuck in. Got sacked twice in this game. He had 68 completion percentage, 11.2 yards to play. Locked in. When you only average 11.2, you're locked in. Israel, 11.9. So that's hard when you got a guy like that with that speed, right? Because either he's going to get tackled fast or he's going to make you hell for you to catch an angle on him. Javonte Williams, they did what they wanted to do here. They gave him the 25 carries, just didn't average to nothing. 2.4, you can't get it done that way. Marino also scored on the ground. He ain't his dad. He got legs, 6.3 in the touchdown. Simple as that. You get to the passing game, you're looking at Garrett Wilson, who has been a monster throughout the playoffs. 7 for 118. Didn't score in this game, but Israel out the backfield for 458 and a touchdown. Also, Calvin Johnson Jr. kicked in for 2 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy scored on 2 catches for 45 yards. And then we talk about the team that won and their defense. Simple as that. We look at who had the most tackles. Ashton Davis, who balled out last week too. In last night's playoff game, 8 tackles and an INT in this ball game. Really, I gotta go too far than that. Look at the tackle for losses. You had 4 from Quentin Williams. He didn't get a sack, but Will McDonald had 3 sacks. Will McDonald, right? And then 2 picks. Sauce Gardner and Ashton Davis. Jets move on to the second round of the playoffs. We come down as 3 versus 6. 10 and 3 versus 6 on both sides. I know I picked the Dolphins to win this ball game. Nobody counted on the Raiders. And if you did, good luck with that, because the Raiders said, "Stop trying to play me, man. The fuck wrong with y'all? I knew I lost to this guy in the regular season. Y'all said my schedule was ass and the only tough teams on my schedule I lost to." Well, we're in the playoffs right now, and my young football team got their first dub. And let's go look at the ugliest quarterback in the league and see what he did. First of all, you got to start right away with one thing and one thing only. You go right to the box score and you look at the team overall stats and who the hell did what. Dolphins, 423 total yards, 249, 85 on the ground and 54, 369 passing for the Dolphins. 18 first downs for the Dolphins. You come down to 506 total yards gained. Turnovers, they lost that. They threw 2 turnovers versus the Raiders, 1 turnover. And you come down to time of possession. You see it was a 15-41 or 16-19. Even Steven Tua played in this game. Messa played a little bit, and this is why he set him. And we said that, didn't we say that? Messa will play, but if he fuck up, he ain't going to play long.
Yep. Playoff tour.
Damn, you throw 2 picks with Messa. He was sacked once and got tired of him, but was it too late? Because the Tua came in and went the fuck crazy. 117, 325 yards, 1 touchdown, didn't throw a pick, didn't get sacked, had 10.8 yards of play and 70%. But look at the diaper dandy bulldog. Dog. 99.4, 184 yards, touchdown to pick. Got sacked 3 times. That's that pressure of that Miami Dolphins defense. But through the pressure, he was still 73%. Now, he checked down Charlie like a motherfucker, 9.17 yards to play. But hey, man, a rookie, you got to give him some credit, some shine. Let him do what he do. Anthony Sanders carried the ball 16 times for 79 yards, 4.9. and a fumble. A-Chain carried the ball 12 times, 50 carries, 50 yards, 4.2, and a T. Bulldog had a 6 yards out of 2 times, 3 yards, and a T. And even Tua had 4 yards in his game. The run game wasn't efficient for neither one of them. Check down Chisel. 10 for 118, 11.8. Reek, 4 for 110, 27.5 yards of play. And then Michael Maris had 5 for 93, 18.6 and a T.
Wasn't taking my game.
Now, here's the thing. Most of y'all take that as a disrespect. And most of y'all will take it the same way y'all take niggas that tell y'all internet is bad. And there you go, cap. Now, I'm going to say this. Brandon has all the right in the world to say you ain't going to sit here and take my fucking win away from me. But have you ever, let's just be real. I'm just going to ask this question. Have you ever seen Hoodie comment after a loss or make an excuse after a loss? I haven't. Now, look, if that's the case, I'd rather a nigga do that than do what Max did and hold us the fuck up and don't say nothing and beat the shit out the Cowboys and then just disappear and had us fuck last year's playoffs up. But I don't know, Brandon. Listen, I'm with you, bro. I ain't letting nobody take my win away from me, and I'm big on that. That's why I just shut my fucking mouth because I be telling niggas they internet fucking shitty as hell, and what happens is their internet be shitty as hell, and I lose to them because of it, and I just get tired of telling them, motherfucker, I'm losing to you because of the internet. So I get it, because if you on the other end of me saying your internet shitty, you don't, and you lost, and you beat me, you don't want me taking that win away from you. So I'm gonna ride all day with Brandon saying, "Cap, fuck out of here, nigga." I went out there and took that win. But I'm also just gonna call out what I know. And again, it's my opinion. What I know is I don't never really see Hoodie. Hoodie won't say nothing at all before he'll say something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. But if you did do that, Hoodie, I respect that because you ain't fuck our playoffs up. But we still gotta look at Michael Mara with 5 catches, 93 yards. That man said, "Look, man, I don't give a fuck what you talking about."
If I gave you the FW, I would have been weak. He wouldn't put Tua into loose rolling on the floor laughing.
I ain't mad at you. Jalen Waddle, 4 catches, 80 yards and a touchdown. Like, those guys show up at the moments you expect them to show up, though, and that's usually what it is. You don't see, a Hoodie Miami Dolphin team with, Hill and Waddle just walking under shit all day long. They play a controlled offense. They use their run game. They use their running back a whole lot, but they will lure you to sleep and have a 27.5 catch, 20 yards a catch, and go crazy with them. But Tucker has 6 catches, 49 yards. A couple guys out their backfield, and Sanders, and then you also had Julian Hill, the tight end, who made the Pro Bowl with 3 catches, 21 yards. Now, when we talk about defense, we always talk about the team that won, and that's it. So we're looking at Diabo, who's been a tackling machine for 3 years straight, 10 tackles in this game. Devontae Cummins, the diaper dandy at middle linebacker, 10 tackles in this game. Yes, sir. Now, is that about to be a Vegas-Miami rival? Hatcher had a sack coming off the edge or slot corner. Nesta Jade Silvera had a sack in this game, and then Money Williams had a sack in this game as well. Tackle for loss. I'm sorry, not sacks. Half a sack for Nesta, half a sack for Williams. And then INTs, nobody caught a pick. Anthony Iverson, the number 1 corner in 2024 draft, and then Jacorian Bennett, the speed demon for the Raiders, with a pick in his ball game as well. Raiders move on. Simple as that, right? This team, they played hot all year, and they revenged the win that they lost in the regular season. You slide over to the main event, 3-6 over here, and you're looking at Washington hosting the LA big city of Rams. And what happens in this game? 468 offensive yards gained. Didn't run the ball well. Threw the ball really well. 20 first downs in this game. 1 turnover to 6. You're not going to win when Najee's throwing 6. Amari's throwing 6 INTs, or they had 6 turnovers. Simple as that. Now, Justin Herbert, 136, 432, 5 touchdowns and an INT. Looked like he looked all year long. Got sacked 4 times, but had 12 yards to play, 66%. Amari struggled in his rookie debut in the playoffs, 38.7. This is a game he won't forget. 214, 6-6. This nigga threw 6 picks and got sacked 6 times. And only averaged 7.9 yards to play. The Rams play together defense showed up. Snoop Pearson, 11 carries, 58 yards. Amari Braxton, 43 yards and a touchdown. Herbert also had a touchdown on the ground as well. Davis Allen, 4 catches for 140 and a touchdown, 35 yards to play. Gabe Davis, 4 for 112, 28 yards to play, touchdown. Nuka, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns. And that's how that game went there. Defensively, we stayed with the Rams, but the Commanders threw 6 picks. And the highlights of the day of this over here is who did what. 2 from Kobe Durant, 2 from Russ Yeast, 1 from Ernest Jones, and then Jason Teller II had a pick as well in that ball game. Rams move on to the divisional round. We go down to the third games, and you got the upset of the week, wild card round. Talk to me, Snake. God damn. Did you expect our division mate to go out here and go to Tennessee and lose by 3?
Man, we just said this was a veteran-based team over here, man. Definitely expected them to go ahead and show they belong and get a dub this game, man. Big win by the Titans. Jeez.
Like, it's a huge win for the Titans, and that's like anything that happened from them making the playoffs and going forward. It don't matter if they lost. It's a win for the Titans, and they way ahead of schedule making the playoffs. You know, things happen like that, right? It just happens. You know, I mean, no matter how they got in it, they got in it. So if I'm the Titans, I'm cool. Like, you enjoy the fact that you got to win, and you know you got a lot more to give, a lot more to do, a lot more growing to do with this football team, and to go out there and get a 34-31 win. It's huge, right? Offensive yards gained, the Browns won that. But the star running back over there, Tajay Spears, 212 on the ground, 268 in the pass and 156, 17 first down to 16, and in the turnover department, 5 and 3. Simple as that. Their game was won there. Dorian Thompson had 110.2, 283, 3 touchdowns, 5 picks, 2 sacks, 11.8, but he was still 70%. Willis didn't look good at all, 54 for 6, 156 and 3 picks. That's not good at all. 9.2 yards to play. But when your run game was giving you 144 yards and Tajay Spears, 3 rushing touchdowns, there it go. 15 for Nick Chubb, 6.7 in the teat. Derrick Henry kicked in too. 5 for 66, 13.2 in the teat. We don't even got to go to the receiving stats. We just go right to the defensive stats and stay right here with the INTs. And we look right at the Titans, and you see Jefferson Simmons, D tackle, had a pick. Lamar Gaines, the corner, had a pick. Number 2 corner in the first draft. Devon Dent, Diaper Dandy, had a pick. Chuck Dunn, Diaper Dandy, had a pick. And Kadar Cahoe, they picked up. I think they picked him up from the Miami Dolphins, let him go, and he had a pick in that game as well. So 5 INTs for the Titans to lock it down defensively, and they get themselves a 3-point win in the wild card round over the heavily favored Browns.
So I mean, the Browns deserve to lose. They wait to the playoffs to run the ball 15 times, and the other time it's 30 carries. Okay.
Yep. All right, so then the Saints go back to 49er Nation. They play already in the regular season. There you go. They should have been. They said should have been in the division where they throw the ball all game long. But man, 394 for the fucking Niners, 314 for the Saints. Stop playing with them Saints, right? Fucking, they got donutted in the first half though, and then scored 13 in the second half. And that's the ball game. 139, 104, 255, 210. 13 first down to 17, 1 turnover to 5. Game over. All right, Brock Purdy 130.5, 255, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Zach Wilson 53 QBR, 232, 1 touchdown, 5 picks, 2 sacks. Ball game. Run game. Miller does what he does. 18 for 102, 5.7 in the T. ETN 15 for 64, 4 yards to carry, 2 teats. Puhana on a jet sweep, regular sweep, not a jet touch pass. 1 for 45. Gore kicked in for 3.3. Brock Purdy scored a rushing touchdown. Receiving yards. P-Dot, no touchdown, but he had 6 of them things. Look at Ty Barr from Maryland. 4 for 102 in the T. Miller caught the ball 8 times out the backfield, 74 yards. Danny Gray kicked in a touchdown, and Isaac Cannon kicked in a touchdown in this ball game as well. Defensively, we go straight to the 49ers and see what they did. 13 tackle from the my player, tackle for loss, and he had 3 picks. He went the fuck crazy. Okay, son, your my player, Harvey Thompson and Hufanga, all safety play right here. Mm-mm. Look,
Yeah.
Robert Bill, Nick Bosa. We said Nick Bosa don't be showing up, but he showed up in that playoff game. Niners moved their way into the divisional round, and you got the matchup between number 2 and 5 seed. The Bears host the
Snaps the
49ers, and
Kobe.
the Rams for the third time plays the Seattle Seahawks for the second time in Seattle. On the other side, you got the Titans traveling to Baltimore to play the number 1 seed, and the Raiders and the Jets face up
You a
again.
regular season warrior face with tears of joy.
They going fuck at
The
it.
Raiders and the Bills still going at it, man.
And
I
the
hope y'all play
Dolphins.
each other week 1. If when y'all play each other week 1, I'm trying to tell you, I'm gonna make that a. I'm gonna
Right
hey
Maybe
away.
you can call
pick
Hawks
'em,
rolling on
Pick
the
'em
floor
game.
laughing.
pick 'em.
Pick 'em game. Pick 'em game.
Yo,
Pick 'em game.
yo.
Say my name. Say my name.
Oh
Niggas done woke my
no.
nigga Hoodie up, bro. Hoodie been quiet all
Hawks
year.
rolling
Ain't
on
been
the
talking
floor
shit.
laughing.
Ain't been saying nothing. Just been chilling. And now they done woke his ass up.
Got him a
Injury
little
on
ring,
2.
got quiet. He like, oh, 305 back in the house.
Yep.
Dang. This a no 305 bowl, huh? Sheesh.
First no
We gonna talk
305
Anthits
bowl.
about
Wilson
it.
can
Uh
get you
oh.
6.
We gonna talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I put something in the
Mm-hmm.
chat they got going earlier too.
Nah, dude started that bullshit. I've been
You might not
quiet.
have seen it.
Face with tears of joy.
We'll get to the
Look,
Super Bowl game. Break it
14
down
to
for you
nothing,
fools and
14 to
Q.
7,
sons.
17 to 14, 7-7 fourth quarter. This was a fucking ball game right here. Bears, 49ers. In the weather elements. I don't know if it was snow on the ground, but you know if they playing in Chicago, that is motherfucking cold. 446 total yards to 286. The run game 110 to 175. The pass game 271 to 178. First downs even Stevens. Listen to
Mm-mm-mm.
me, boy. Turnovers even Stevens. Ball game, bitch. 16-11 to 15-49. Even Stevens. Bro, these niggas was going at it. 72 QBR, 54.4 QBR. 271, 176. One touchdown, 3 picks. Nobody got sacked. They was going at it. So what happened in the run
Anthits
game?
Michael
ETN
Williams
goes the
Fantasy
fuck off at
Season Clincher.
8.8. 15 carries, 132 yards, 22 for Herbert, 110. Niggas said the Bears can't run. They gave that running back the ball, and he was a 100-yard guy every game in the playoffs. And the Teats and Purdy kicked in for 9.5 and a Teat on the ground. Now at the receiver position, my boy, rest in peace, Cuzzo, Hannah, 4 for 77, 19.3. Danny Gray, 3 for 60. Ali Bolden showed up, 2 for 59, and Devon Ward, the X Factor out of Michigan, 4 for 50. Vetus Jones, 3 for 46 in the T. But the Bears lost. The 49ers D is going to stand out. Hufanga and Bill had the most tackles. You're looking at tackle for losses. 2 from Robert, 2 from Bosa. Did Bosa show up in these all? Nobody got a sack, but the INTs went from Archie Bowman to Demore Dior, Linior, and Devontae Stallings. Niners move on to the NFC Championship game. Seattle on the 12th man is home against the LA Rams. LA, big city of dreams. 335 total yards gained, 88 on the ground, 249 rushing, 192 passing yards, 86. What do you do? 14 to 1 to 18 first downs. You're looking at the turnover department. Well, they ain't throw the ball that much, so they really ain't going to turn it over that much. But they did have one turnover. Don't know if that was a pick or a fumble. 2 for the Rams. Time in possession, 16-16 to 15-44. Even Stevens. You're looking at their passing game, 111.4, 86 yards. No teats, no interceptions, no sacks. 7 for 8, 87%, 10.8 on his completions. Justin Herbert, 73.1. 2 of the most flinging it around guys all year long. Don't fling it around that much. 218, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. That defense got after it. 72 completion percentage, 12.1. Rushing yards, 20 fucking 8 carries for Kenneth Walker. He had 9 yards to carry on 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the fumble came was the only turnover in there. Go right there. Herbert 63 yards, Aikens 2.5. He scored a touchdown, but only had 2.5. Lawrence also kicked in for a 2-yard run in this ball game. In the receiver department, nobody did shit, so there's nothing to talk about. Defensively, Seahawks lost won a game, so we talk about them. The middle linebacker Devin Bush had 8-1-1-1. He went crazy on defense. You're looking at Brock Barnes from the D tackle position, 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack in that ball game. And you'll keep looking at the IT department. 1 for Bush, and the middle linebacker play out of Seattle, the fastest linebackers in the world, 1-1. Simple as that. Done. They're back in the Super Bowl this time. I mean, they're back in the NFC Championship this time, looking to finish and complete this bitch, get to a bowl and win it. But that's the story right now. And we're going to look at that game in a second, but we got to go address what happened over here. Now, after the Raiders took down the Dolphins in the I Let You Win game, Cat game. I don't know which one it is. You decide. I Let You Win or Cat game. The Raiders is like, fuck it, we back. Let's get to it. Last time we was in this game right here, we got aired. Looked like the same thing happened. Now, what do you chalk that up to? Young? I can't say that because the fucking Jets is young. Quarterback? Diaper Dandy? Can't say that. They both got Diaper Dandies. But face value, the Jets got the better roster. I'm quite sure they have the better overall. I know the Raiders had a 92 overall. And I know when I played the Jets last night, they had a 97 offense, 95 defense, and like a 95 overall, I think. I don't know, but 38-8. I'm sorry, I gave you 2 points. 38-6. What happened in this ball game? 367 total yards, 133 on the ground, 234 in the air. Yep. Turnovers, 2-2. They tied it there, and then we go time of possession. Wasn't that far off from each other. When we get to the game, 97.1, 253, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Still won the game. Got sacked twice. Reynolds, Bulldog, ugly ass, had 52.2, 217, no touchdowns, 2 picks. Got sacked once. You go to the run game, eye candy, 16 for 131, 8.2 on the T. Sanders, 10 for 21, and that's the reason why the Raiders struggled because they couldn't get the run game going. And not for nothing, the Jets played really good all playoffs through the run. They kind of held us running the ball as well. I think the Raiders, as much as they, want to throw the ball, their strength is their run game. And when they get the running game going, they're a hard team to beat. They didn't get it going in this ball game. Marino carried the ball 2 yards. And Josh Jacobs came in this game and got 2 yards. In the receiver department, Anthony Sanders on the check down game, 8 for 104. When you give the nigga keys, they make you do the things that you tell them that you do. Anyway, Anthony Sanders, 8 for, where's Murray at? There you go, 6 for 7. So both the running backs caught the ball out the backfield. They had 14 catches by themselves.
Couldn't get a run game, was forced to pass with a star WB. QB asterisk.
Xavier Gibson played well, 3 for 82. Cal balled out. He had 2 catches, 66 yards, walked under him, 2 touchdowns, eye candy out the backfield, 43 yards in the teeth. Garrett Wilson only had 3 catches for 29 yards in this game. But when the score is 38 to 6, defense was played. So you go right to the Jets defense and let's take a look at what they did defensively. Jets, Charlie Strong, 6'1", tackle for losses. They had 2 from Will McDonald. Sacks, they had a half a sack from Will McDonald and a half a sack for Julius Peppers, the Diaper Dandy. IT department, 2 from Bryce Hall, 83 yards in the interception. Looked like one might have went to the crib. Yep, it did. Jets move on to the AFC Championship game. And then you go to Baltimore, and Tennessee traveled to Baltimore, and they never got off the bus at all. Offensive yard gain, 90 to 459. Look, before I even talk about this game, let's keep it real. Better team, better roster, better Madden player at this point. Period. That's all that was. 146 in the run game, 313 in the passing game. First downs, where they at? First downs, 19 to 4. Total turnover 6 to 1. Time of possession 17 to 15, 2 more minutes, and then we get to the game. 129.4, 324, 7 touchdowns from Lamar, 1 INT. Was sacked twice in the ball game, 66%, 15.4 after play. Malik Willis struggled with 19.1. He got shut the fuck down because he's not ready to throw the ball with him. 72 yards, 6 picks in that ball game, 3.6 yards to play. AI, 9 carries for 118, 13.1 in a touchdown. Tajay Spears, 22 carries, 1.5. Najee had 8 carries for 26 yards, 3.3. Kind of got shut too. Malik Willis had 3 yards a carry. The receiving game, Andrews, 2 for 93 in a touch. Peter Ward, 3 for 84 in a teat. Mike McEwen, 4 for 66, 3 teats. Tight end wide receiver J.K. McClendon had 5 catches, 36 yards. Terrence Kemp had a catch for 21 yards. AI out the backfield, 14 yards. And while the other tight end had 10 yards. You can look at the defense, and it just comes down to what happened defensively. Baltimore's D kind of showed up. Jimmy Voorhees played in this ball game, and he only supposed to be on the field, but he had 7 no 1. Oh my God, how was he playing? 7 tackles. We'll take it though. Tackle for losses, you have 4 from Trenton Simpson, 4 from Ajabo, 2 from Saragusa. Bulwer had 2. Andre Wadsworth had 2. Sack department, 2 for Ojabo. Simpson had a sack and a half. Matabuke with a sack. Andre Wadsworth had a half a sack. INT department, Brent English, 3 from the safety position. Ed Reed Jr., slot corner with a pick. Hamilton from the safety position in prime time, 2 had a pick in that game as well. I don't think nobody took anything back to the crib. None. Oh, Dion Primetime took 131 yards to the crib. Baltimore looked really impressive in that ball game. They go into the AFC Championship game and play a really good game that turned out really bad. Look at the scores. 38-24, home team, away team, 38-24. And our Super Bowl contenders are Jets and the Seahawks. Going to be matched up tonight in bowl right now. All right, so you get into the Seahawks game and you look at 340 yards to 419, 106 to 108, 234 to 311, first downs 19 to 20, turnover department 0 to 0. Neither one of them turned the ball over. 155.3, perfect QBR. 3 of 18 for 3 touchdowns. Got sacked once. Purdy threw 2 touchdowns. He ain't throw no picks either. Both of them had a clean game, but Lawrence played the better football game. In the rushing department, 20 carries, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns from Walker. A little bit of everybody touched the ball over here with Brock Purdy scoring a rushing touchdown. In the receiving game, you're looking at Fant with 4 for 89. Jackson with 488 and a touchdown. P. Doc for 5 for 61, no T. Walker caught the ball 5 times, 55 yards. Cannon, Metcalf had a touchdown, 2 for 44. Danny Gray had a touchdown. You come all the way down here to a receiver that had 1 catch, 21 yards and a touchdown. Using the entire roster and your triangle offense. Dominant. All right, the Seahawks won the game. 8 tackles from Bush. Adams kicked in 7, and Bynes had 7 from the D tackle position. Tackle for losses, 1. They only had 3 sacks, though. None. INTs, though. None. And that's the game. Seahawks in the Super Bowl versus the Jets. Ravens start off strong, 7-0. And then Lamar Jackson throws 3 second quarter interceptions to put themselves down 28 to 7. 28 to 7 ball game. 375, 335, 105, 102, 270 in the pass game, 233, 14 to 15. The game was even outside of the turnovers. That's the game. 4 turnovers to 1. Ball game. Simple as that. 17. Listen, the Jets put on a 5-minute drive in the 4th quarter after not being able to get out the backfield on any carry. They go out there and do that. And Lamar killed the Baltimore Ravens in the 2nd quarter with those 3 turnovers. Big time. Marino showed off, though, man. 121.5, 275, 4 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Got sacked once. Lamar was sacked once, but he threw the 4 picks. Run game, 22 carries for 102. And that's deceiving. Like, all that shit came in the 4th quarter from 7 minutes to a minute and 40 left. They controlled the fucking clock. The entire 4th quarter, couldn't get him off the field at all. And his 100 yards came in that 1 quarter. He struggled in the run game, 9 for 49, 5.4, 7 for 29, 4.1, 6 for 24, 4 yards and a touchdown. Garrett Wilson went the fuck off in this game. Simple. That's just what the game comes down to. He went off in this game for big-time catches, and all his big-time catches were 3rd downs, except for the jet sweep for the touchdown. Everything else was a 3rd down play, big time, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 12, big boy shit. 4 for 161, 3 touchdowns. Mike McEwen, 2 for 103 and 1 touchdown. He sold us right before halftime, caught a wide open bomb to walk in. Instead, he falls, and they call us down. Nobody tagged me. Nobody touched him. Nobody near us. He catches a bomb, runs under it, and don't score. We throw a pick 2 plays later. Tight end had a big time game, 5 for 100 touchdown in that game. Peter Ward 5 for 93 in the teat in that game. Everybody else had cleanup duties. But when you look at the defense, you go to the Jets. They won the game. Sauce Garner balled out, 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and then 2 picks from Ashton Davis. He was just picking shit off from everywhere. Brees Hall had a pick. Strong from the middle linebacker position had a pick. Sub linebacker had also picking that game as well. All these picks, his 2 picks. No, one of his 2 picks came in the second quarter, fourth quarter, last drive. Jets, Seahawks. Let's talk about it. None to pick, but here's what's on the line. Seahawks undefeated, trying to win their first bowl. Jets feel like they're a little bit ahead of schedule. And don't let him steal it. That's his attitude right now. Don't let me come steal his bowl. I like the matchup. I really like the matchup. Young quarterback versus veteran quarterback. 2 really good running backs, 2 different style running backs. Both of them get used in the passing game and the run game. Both of them got stud receivers. Both of them got stud tight ends. Both of them got solid defenses. Both of them got superstar corners.
Seahawks get the nod on everything on offense except running back. I think the Jets get the nod on the running back. But as far as quarterback, wide receivers, offensive line, and even tight end, I think the Seahawks get that one.
Seahawks is the better team across the board, in my opinion, because I think they win at the running back position too. I get why
Kenny
you
Walker
saying
got
no,
some eye
but
candy.
I think Walker. I think Walker is because what he can do. He's a little bit more of a power back, and I think he can get you the tough yards. If it's a cloud and dust game, he can get those tough yards. I think Israel is a home run hitter. Now, don't get it fucked up. Like he showed that he can get you 4 if he need it, 3 if he need it, 5 if he need it. But he also, to me, is a little bit more light in the ass where he can get you the big play versus, the put a drive together and really run down run it right down your motherfucking backside. I think Kenneth Walker can do that, although they both are to me equally as good in the passing game. But I do think Israel has the edge as the more of a receiver back there, and I think that's where Israel's the better back complete as far as what they're going to have to do to each other in this game. Both running backs are going to have to be effective, being able to run the ball in between the tackles and catch the ball out of the backfield. But the Seattle Seahawks is the better football team across the board. That's not saying the Jets aren't very good. They're a very good football team. I think the Seattle Seahawks have the more veteran team across the board and the more of threshold players across the board. I think their threshold puts them in a situation where knockouts matter. Guys being in the right position or not dropping the ball, things like that matter because those guys are ready to go, super experienced, and done it for 3 years straight of playing elite football and getting extra seasons of upgrades just by making the playoffs and playing deep in the playoffs every year.
Mm.
If Marino can come out and play the game he's played through the first 2 playoff games he had to play, first 3 playoff games he had to play this year, I think they can be in a situation. If the rookie don't show up as a rookie and show up as the guy who's been the guy all year, this is gonna be a really good ball game. It's gonna come down to uh, making plays off of phase, right? Out of your system, out of your scheme, out of your comfort zone. Who can make the plays when they got to dig a little deeper in their bag? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Can, can the New York Jets play a grinded out football game? Think about it. They haven't been forced to play that type of game, right? The Seahawks showed they could. 8 passes against the Rams. That's a dirty football game. Defense and running the ball. Can the Seahawks, can the Jets uh, stop that type of game? If it came down to like a dirty, slow scoring, low scoring football game, are they physical enough to go toe to toe with the Seahawks?
Right. Yeah. I think they can.
Who does it
Will
mean?
they?
Honestly, who does it mean more to, right? Who does this bowl mean more to, right? What's on the line here for both teams? What's on the line here? If it comes down to pressure, I think the Seahawks has the pressure.
I
They're
think.
they're they're the team that has the pressure when it comes down to that. I think they have pressure because they've been here, done that, undefeated 2 years in a row, and then lose the big game. Losing it for a third time can break this football team. It's going to make them have to come together and really, really, really fight hard to figure out why they doing so well all year long, and then boom, when it come down to the come down, they drop the ball. And I think the fucking Jets is playing with house money right now, because most people ain't gonna think about it or look at it like this, but they had a schedule.
Mm-hmm. Rookie quarterback.
They
He
fucking
gonna
had a
get us in
schedule.
there. Yep.
So they playing with house money. If I'm Falk, I'm not even coming in this game feeling no pressure. I either win or I don't. It is what it is. It means more to me to win it and to be that guy to show I'm that guy. But like the pressure on the Seahawks more than anything. Reputation on the line right now. You don't want to be
Chiefs.
that guy that dominating the regular season. You hearing what was just said about the Raiders, regular season champ. Hey, he just won a playoff game. Like what the fuck? I'm the regular season. Damn, you don't want to be that
Seattle favored heavily.
big time. I do think the Jets come in as an underdog in this ball game. I do think Seattle is the favorite team, and I think the line would be bigger than most guys probably would want to be real about it. But this is one of those Bills Jets type of vibes where is it 18 minus 18 Seahawks type situation. They are. They should be heavily favored in this ball game.
I don't think they have that heavily favored in the
Don't get it fucked up. I
Seahawks.
don't think that happens, right? I think that coach is really good, bro, and I think people fall asleep on how good that coach really is, right? Like, and I'm just saying, like, he's really good.
Loss
Like, he's a really fucking
12.5.
good coach over there, man. Like, and both of these guys are fucking. They blessed by Madden guys. They get the shit that they get, bro. They get it. They can go out there and earn some things, but like they blessed. The plays they need always seem to come falling in their favor all the time. Like you ever be on a headset with Falk and he be like, man, we need a turnover right here, and magically a fumble happens. Like those type of blessed plays. Those
You
things
ever be
happen
on Falk?
Seahawks same way.
Be on Falk when he doing training, and then he say, "Oh, I got another one."
Right? Prayer like just call them for it. Like they
Yo,
talk shit into existence.
he ain't got more upgrades from training, and he probably ain't got the top five that I done heard. Top
He
five at
got back
least.
to back weeks where he went from
Yeah.
superstar to X Factors off training.
Mm-mm.
I ain't get a motherfucker to go up at all this year. And well, I got two of them last year, but none this year. But it's gonna be a good ball game, man. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. Just know this: the off season will be tomorrow, fellas. And most likely everything will start somewhere around 7:30.
Ooh. But that's why everybody here to see if they got an upgrade. You already know y'all dusses.
And you guys can check on your own damn upgrades. We're out of here.